We at the Accounting Society strive to bring the best to you. And today, we'd like to introduce you speakers from the Institute of Management Accountants. They'll be promoting the qualification CMA, Certified Management Accountant. With us, we have Mr. Karim, who is the president of the Dubai chapter of IMA, and Ms. Hanady, who is the operations manager of IMA at Dubai. Now I'd like to call upon Ms. Hanady to speak a little about IMA and introduce our speaker for today.
It's not working?
I think it's recording. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Samuel. Assalamu alaikum. I would like to thank Samuel for the invitation and the Accounting Club for inviting us today to introduce the IMA and the CMA certification. My name is Hanady Khalife. I'm the operation manager of IMA in the Middle East. Our office for the Middle East is here in Dubai at the World Trade Center. Before I start, how many of you have heard of the CMA certification? Oh, perfect. Okay, very good. So I think we're going to have a very interactive session today. Okay. I'll start, as I've said, by introducing IMA, what we do, who we are, and then talk a little bit about our case study. We have launched a case study this year. We've started in the UAE. It's running simultaneously with the US. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the case competition, what's it about, how you can participate if you're interested. And then talking about the CMA certification, the management accounting profession in general, more specifically the CMA and the CMA curriculum. That bit I would leave to the Dubai chapter president, Mr. Karim Abd-Elhay, who is a CMA and can give you, a thorough perspective about the certification. So we are the association for accounting and finance professionals in business, inside the business. We're not public accountants. We're not for public accountants. We are for the professionals, the finance professionals who work inside organization with the CFO team. We have 60,000 members worldwide. In the Middle East, we have 9,000. We have the biggest. Hello, Karim. We have the biggest base outside the US. So I'm really proud of this. That the Middle East is actually one of the biggest markets for the CMA certification. That means how much we are actually in the right path. Youth and young professionals are in the right path to really empower themselves with the right tools to succeed. So we support our members in their career development through the CMA certification, but also through networking opportunity, very much what the chapters do, but also research, training, seminars, webinars. We've launched last year in 2010, our Leadership Academy. The Leadership Academy offers free webinars on leadership for our members. Our global footprint, as I've said earlier, the head office is based in the US, but we have 4 offices around the world. Our office here in Dubai caters for the Middle East. We have another office in Zurich in Switzerland for Europe, and an office in Beijing in China for Asia Pacific. Now about the case competition. It's called Pugs at the park, pugs at home. I don't know. Do you know what are pugs? Yeah, they're like hot dogs. They're the hot dogs and yeah. So as I've said, the case competition, it's sponsored annually by IMA in the US. It's been launched 3 years in China, and that's the first time here in the UAE. It's really an opportunity for students. We're aiming to third or fourth year students, and it's really, again, an opportunity to interpret, analyze, evaluate, synthesize, and have a real-world experience while you are still students. It's, of course, a management accounting problem. So the purpose is really to improve your knowledge and skills in management accounting, is to promote the case study model. I'm sure that's a model you use at the university here. So probably you'll be more at ease in really solving and working on this case than other students in other universities. But it also promotes the soft skills of leadership, of communication, and of teamwork that are actually as important as your technical knowledge. So the requirements and regulations, you'll be asked to form teams of 4 or 5 students. The registration is online. You download the case. It's on our Middle East website. The entries must be submitted before April 15, and the finalists will be notified by May 15. So for the final event, the final competition, once the 3 finalist teams will be selected, you will have to present your case in front of a jury, and if there are additional questions that the jury want to ask, you have to be prepared to answer. The presentation is limited to 15 minutes. If you're a group of 4 or 5, each one of the group members should have the same time to present. And it will be judged on content, style, response, and case requirements. Once you read the case, actually, you will notice there is a technical requirement where you'll be asked to prepare financial reports and analyze some financial reports. But there's also a more of a advisory assignment where you really have to build your case in a suggestion. The main purpose is actually to present for the CFO a strategic business plan to expand the business opportunities, to expand the business operations of this company. The company is a baseball team in a minor league who actually have seasonal operations. Only when the team plays, there's the operation, there are revenues, costs, etc. The CFO wants to expand the operation to be, a year-long operations. So you will be asked to think about business opportunities to expand and grow the business. Of course, you'll have to build your case and support your case with the right financial analysis. So the assignment in summary, Storm is the CFO of the baseball team. So you will actually help him work as a CFO team to give him financial advice on how to grow his business. You'll have an executive summary to prepare, and then the financial analysis and a strategic analysis. And that's actually one of the core emphasis of the CMA is to help you become strategic partners for your CFO. Technical information, it's there, it's in the books, it's sometimes automated, generated by systems, but analyzing the data that you have, thinking of business opportunities, that's really what a CFO is looking for in his team. We're not going to ask you to have the extra work for nothing. It's a business world, business case. So there is a reward. For the 3 finalist team, each team will have $2,000 for, and then the winning team, an additional $3,000. You'll have, of course, free membership in IMA that's worth $225 and much more. The CMA program. The CMA is IMA's certification for accountants and financial professionals in business. It validates your mastery in financial planning, analysis, control, and decision support, the critical skills that are needed to be a valuable strategic advisor for any organization. To date, we have more than 32,000 CMAs worldwide. And as I've said, because it's targeted to finance and accounting professionals inside the business, so it's really all organizations want to recruit CMAs, be it multinational, be it a private company, an academic institution, a not-for-profit organization, or a government organization. Any entity, any business entity that has operations, that has transactions, monetary transactions, require accountants and finance. And the bigger it is, the more sophisticated is its business and operations, the more sophisticated the CFO wants his team to be. The management accounting profession, actually, if you look back 2 years since the recession has started to date, accounting and finance professions were really the least to be hit. And there is always still demand for financial professionals with certification. Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of business graduates each year enter the market. You need to differentiate yourself. You need to have something more to add on your CV that would attract the attention of a recruiter, being an HR director, a recruitment company, a finance manager. What's your added value? When we have thousands of CV, maybe, I don't know, how many does the AUS graduate each year in the business school?
About maybe
300 from AUS. You're all graduated from the same university. I'm sure each one is different with different grades, different performance. But how is this reflected on your CV? How would I know that X is better or smarter than Y or than Z? If you show from a really fresh age in your career that you are engaged in the career path you choose, that you have or are working towards a professional certification, or you are a member of a professional association, you read, you know what's your industry is talking, what's the latest that's happening in management accounting, in leadership, in cost accounting, in ethics, in IFRS. It's really, it's a continuous journey. Knowledge is a continuous journey, should be reflected in your CV, but also should be adopted by you as not only in your career, but in everything you do in life. So going back to figures, it's so more than 80% of accounting professionals in the US work inside organizations. I'm sure the same figures and percentage is valid everywhere else. The good thing about the CMA or the CMA advantage is that we've done last year in 2010 a salary survey for the Middle East for our members. And the survey shows that CMAs, or generally professionals with a professional certification, be it CMA, CPA, depending on which really career path you're taking, they earn, in the case of CMAs, they earn 122% more than their non-certified peers. Again, companies where you find CMAs, IBM, Microsoft, Walmart, Novartis, Mubadala, Saudi Aramco, Caterpillar, Walmart in the US. Saudi Aramco actually has a policy in their HR, especially for the finance and accounting department. Depending on the position, you have to, it's mandatory that you have a professional certification for the position you are applying for, being internal audit, being, if you're working with the CFO team, then the CMA or other certification. And I'm sure you've seen, if some of you have started looking for a job, you would see that in so many job postings, they would tell you if one of or several certifications are required. If you don't have them, you don't even need to apply. So it is becoming gradually mandatory, especially for middle and high management positions. I will leave now the stage to Karim, who will go through with you the CMA program and what it covers. Thank you.
Just hold on, I'll do it. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Hanady, for the introduction. So we are talking about the CMA, and it's important to know what the CMA is talking about. So the CMA has been in the market for many years, and there has been a lot of changes happening on the curriculum of the CMA. The latest curriculum has been done after good research with CFOs along, within different corporations, and what the IMA did and was really great is looking for the market needs. They didn't assume that those are the requirements. They went physically to big corporations. They talked to CFOs, finance managers, and they started to understand what they are looking for, in any of the new hires. And the main things that came up with is we need people who understand the financial planning and whatever related process for that. We need people who understand internal controls. We need people who understand financial analysis. They started to focus on areas that is highly required in business. And there were other areas that usually are, taught within the different professional certificates that it didn't add any value to them. So that's how the IMA went into the recent restructure of the latest curriculum, which is available right now. So that's how the CFOs mentioned related to the difference in the skills available in the market and what they are looking for. they were having a lot of graduates who were lacking a lot of skills that are really required in the business. And many of these are actually taught during the normal curriculum of any business school. However, it was required in a more depth. So looking into the holistic view of the corporation in a more of a practical way rather than the theoretical knowledge. And definitely theoretical knowledge is important. It's the foundation required to build on the practical information and level, but that's the extra mile that was required in business. So the main areas that was covered in the CMA we're focusing on risk management, internal controls, budgeting and planning, strategic cost management, and financial leadership. This is how the CMA as a certification was formulated based on the topics covered under these areas. So going through the topics covered in part 1 of the CMA is actually 2 parts. Part 1 covers planning, budgeting, forecasting, performance measurement, cost management, internal controls, and professional ethics. The part 2 is related to financial statement analysis, corporate finance, decision analysis and risk management, investment decisions, and professional ethics. As you can see, the professional ethics is an area that the IMA is focusing on, and it's one of the strengths that the IMA has with its certification of the CMA. We have recently seen a lot of crises happening because of bad ethics, bad business ethics happening within a lot of big corporations. And that's how the CMA is earning a good repetition in how it stresses the ethics and the requirement for the business ethics. I'm not going to talk a lot about the details of the topics. Just want to leave some good time for discussions and question and answers. So what do the CMAs do on the job? If I open that as a question for you. So CMAs, we said that 80% of the finance professionals work within organizations, and this is the focus of the CMA. When we talk about management accountants, we're not talking about an entry-level accountants. We're talking about any finance professional working within an organization. So what do you think would be a person working in a finance department of an organization be doing? Expansion options. So you're talking about new projects, investments, okay? Cost management, cost accounting, yep.
Capital budgeting.
Sorry? Capital budgeting. In case we are having a new investment, we have to plan for it with capital budgeting. What else?
Financial planning.
Financial planning. So we have to put proper budgeting and plan for the for future year spend and revenues. What else? Risk management, very important one. Risk management is one of the core areas that people would look into because we have to understand what risks that the business is facing and how to be prepared for that. Forecasting, yeah, expecting what's going to happen. What else, sorry? Financing, yes. What are the financing options, sources of financing, and how to prepare for it, and the ideal structure for a finance. Anything else? You're hitting on the major areas really important for the business, and that's what the CMA is focusing on. We are now moving from the basic bookkeeping and financial reporting to more about the thinking of that. Now, you know that ERPs and financial systems, you do the journal entry, it will generate automatically the different financial statements. You should know how those are done. You should know the foundation, how this is leading to the financial statements. However, the role now of the finance professionals is further into analyzing those financial statements, putting their input in how we can affect the future performance of the organization. That's what we are moving into. We are like now really past the area of the classic finance and accounting department. So back to what we were talking about. Who are the CMAs? Who are the management accountants? You would find management accountants falling into the categories of staff accountants, cost accountants, finance analysts, finance controllers, treasurers, CFOs. All of those could fall into the categories of the management accountants. So what are the program requirements for a CMA certification? You need to have a bachelor degree from an accredited college or university. You need to have some basic foundational knowledge in finance accounting, in economics, in statistics. Those are things that are required as basics. So when you go into the review courses, they don't start from basic knowledge of debit and credit. They assume you have already the basics required for that. 2 years of relevant work experience and active membership in the IMA. And once you earn the CMA, you need to maintain it by having a continuous professional education, CPE hours. So you need to keep yourself updated with what's going on in the market, and that's how we can maintain the quality of the certified professionals. And among those 30 hours required annually, 2 of them must be related to the ethics. This is, again, stressing the importance of the business ethics. Now, usually a question would come, people would ask, you are requiring 2 years of experience and we are still in college right now, then it's not applicable for us. That's not the case. This is a requirement to earn the certification. However, you can pass the exams, be prepared and pass the exams. And once you have the 2 years of experience, you can get the certificates. What usually people who pass during the graduation year or after graduation without completing the 2 years experience, they list in their CVs that they have already cleared the 2 examination requirements for the CMA, and they are waiting for the experience to get the certification. So, and it's a very good opportunity for people because many of the requirements and the knowledge required is already shared in your curriculum. So it will be much easier while you are still fresh compared to waiting a few years and starting the studying at that time. The testing, there's a good flexibility with the CMA. So the exam has 3 testing windows. We have January, February testing window. We have May, June. We have September, October. And during those months, you can attend your schedule, whatever, based on your needs, the appropriate date that fits your good calendar. And candidates have to take the exam the way they want. So there, as we mentioned, it's 2 parts. You take it in whichever order that suits you. And then you have to clear the second part, whatever the one you start with. You have to clear the second one within 3 years of passing the first examination. So you have a total of 3 years from the date you pass the first examination to clear the whole CMA. The type of the exam, it includes multiple choice questions. So each exam has 100 multiple choice questions that should be covered in a maximum of 3 hours. And then there is 2 essay questions that you can cover, and the total exam time is 4 hours. So if you finish the multiple choice questions in less than 3 hours, you have more time allocated to the essay questions. Passing score is 360 out of 500. I always say it's much better to start studying for the CMA while you are either in the college or just after graduation. This is what happened with me. I started studying the CMA 1 year after graduation, and it was much easier for me compared to other colleagues who started the same later on. You still have the discipline of studying. You still have the passion of going and reading the books and doing the assignments. You lose that, after a few years of graduation, you would lose that talent. And therefore, I would say it's very important to start it as soon as possible. There's some information about the costs related to the CMA. In average, it's requiring around $1,100 total for the whole examination and membership requirements, $225 one-time fee, and $350 per part. That's different from the studying materials or if you want to join a review course with any of the course providers. But again, it's for a professional certificate, it's relatively much cheaper than other professional certificates in the market. And definitely the return on investment for it is amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to open for your questions, and we'll see if you have anything that you want to discuss. Yes, please.
You said you needed 2 years of relevant work experience.
Yeah.
What's relevant?
Very good question. So anything relevant would be any role within a finance profession, and sometimes within a management would allow as well, since the scope of the CMA is really big. So they would allow a lot of different posts and roles that would help in that. Yeah, welcome. Yes, please.
How do you recommend we study for the CMA?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay, so that would depend on the person. So I wouldn't recommend the same unless I really know your character and the way you like studying. So for me, for example, I cleared it from a self-study. I just bought the books, CDs, I studied myself, and I passed the exams from the first time. Other people whom I know were not able to do the same. So they had to join a review courses so that they can get some coaching on the way they have to study and get more of the discipline of there is an examination time and there's test and there's checking points and so on. So it depends on the person and how they like. And the same thing for the materials. There are a lot of different materials available in the market. Each of them is different in terms of do they start on assuming that you have the good knowledge and they start a little bit higher on level, or they go a little bit on more details. So it depends on the person what type of studying methodology they prefer would allow them to choose the right methodology. What else? Yes, please.
For a fresh graduate, what would you expect the person to work with, once you've achieved his CMA? Can you paint us a picture of what his job would involve?
Very good. So I would not tell you would be a finance manager in day one. Okay? I'm an honest person. I'm not going to deceive you. So the situation is the market is big. There's a lot of competition. You are enhancing your opportunities of getting hired by a reputable company and getting much better opportunity of promotions. You prove yourself. From my experience, you are totally viewed differently. So I was already working in an organization, and I didn't have the certification. I started with a self-study. Once I cleared that, I have seen the people, how they view me differently. I became like the expert in the department. He's like a certified person. So I don't deny that I put a lot of effort in the certification and how to apply it in the business. If they don't see a difference in how you perform, how you recommend things, how you see things differently, you wouldn't make a big difference. It's always, if people are already working and they get the certification, my recommendation is start to look for the next move. Because of the organization you're working in doesn't see the difference in your performance, it would be appreciated more in a different organization. So it's not a one recipe for everything. It just depends on the situation and how you view it. And definitely it's enhancing your opportunities much better than not taking a certification. Yes, please.
Most of the students here want to sit for the CPA or the CFA after they graduate. So tell us the difference between, not salaries, but job functions and this and that. Why should they consider the CMA instead of the CPA maybe, or the CFA?
Right.
Like what kind of job that they may expect to have that the CPA may not provide to them, or the CFA?
Yeah, I got a lot of questions, which is like, is the CPA better or the CMA? And usually my answer is, okay, do you prefer the which one is better? Is it the engineering school or the medicine school? They're not relevant. You know, do you want to be a doctor, a physician? You go to the medicine school. You want to be an engineer? You go to the engineering school. And that's the same thing with the professional certificates in the finance. You want to be an auditor, an external auditor? Go for the CPA. Definitely, it's the right certification for you. If you are planning to take your career in a finance department in an organization, being up to a finance manager or a CFO or even a CEO, then I would tell you go to the CMA. That is a big difference. Some people would prefer to go into financial analysis, working in the stock market or analyzing performance of different investments and so on. Then a CFA would be more applicable to them. So choose your career, look for what you are planning to be after 10, 15 years, and based on which you select the right certification. If people are interested to take more than one, good. Start with the one more relevant to your career and then expand your knowledge by going into another certification. So many people would have a CPA, CMA, and CIA. It's good to expand your knowledge. That's a good thing. However, start with the one that is fitting more your career.
In the past, if you take one of the exams, one of the certificates like CPA or others, they may do some waiver. Is this how this is applicable to?
In the past, there was waivers when the certification was 4 parts. When they changed the structure of the CMA and became 2 parts, there's no more waivers because any waiver would means you're slashing 50% of the certification. So now, no more waivers are given.
It is a 2-part. It's very focused, very rigorous. It's
Yep.
They've removed all the extras, the economics, the statistics, that would maybe apply for a waiver if you have another certification or anything. But now they are really it's purely core management accounting. So that's why there's really no waiver, and it's 2 parts.
What else? Any other question? That's all? Okay. Yes, please. Okay. I like the last minute one. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm interested in business consultancy as a student. And I'd like to know how would the CMA support this choice?
Very good. So when you say a business consultancy, what are you going to consult on? Just to give you the right answer. Sorry?
I'm not sure within business consultancy what exactly.
So let me give you some examples. So people working in the consultancy area may do business planning, may do feasibility studies, may help in internal restructuring. A lot of these are already covered in the CMA. It helps you a lot. It gives you a lot of good knowledge to start up in that. Many of the consultants working in Big Four, for example, will be relying on a CMA. It would be more relative compared to a CPA. I have already got a lot of opportunities to join consulting companies after getting the CMA. So I would see it a very good start. Is it the only way to get it? No, definitely not. And you need to build on whatever area you want to be focused on. So if you want to be focused on feasibility study, there is a lot of information in the CMA related to capital budgeting, for example, and how to evaluate different projects, how to do the feasibility studies. However, after the certification, you need to still read more books, get more details into this area because it's going to be a focus for you. Does this answer your question? Yes, please.
Can you please tell the students about the certified financial management?
Certified financial manager. I'm not sure if it is the same.
Because after you do the CMA, you do like one extra.
Oh, so that was discontinued.
That was the old system, the old part.
Yeah.
Now it's they've only retained the CMA certification. There is no more certified financial
I got it in the early days when it was still available, but they are not. No, it's not available anymore. Okay, welcome. Any other question? Very good. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. I'd like to thank our professors, our accounting professors, for their unstinted support in helping us in bringing you the best. This is just a CMA presentation. We'll be bringing you many more qualifications presentation coming up. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be bringing you the CMA presentations, where presenters from Morgan International will inform you about the CPA as well. I hope you found this presentation very informative and enriching. Mr. Karim and Ms. Hanady will be here for a few more minutes. If you have any questions that you would ask them in personal, they'd be more than happy to answer you. Thank you all for coming.